If this speaks to your heart, hit subscribe and walk with us in His truth. Even in prison, purpose survives. There are seasons in life that feel unfair. Moments when you did the right thing, but everything still went wrong. Times when you stayed faithful, but life rewarded you with disappointment. Maybe you've been there. You worked hard, but someone else took the credit. You stayed honest, but someone lied about you. You tried to do what was right, yet the outcome still hurt. It can make you wonder, God, where are you in all of this? Thousands of years ago, a man named Joseph found himself asking the same question. Joseph was a dreamer. God had placed a vision inside his heart, a vision that one day he would rise to greatness. But dreams don't always begin with crowns and celebration. Sometimes they begin with pain. Joseph's own brothers betrayed him. Jealous of his dreams, they threw him into a pit and sold him into slavery. Just like that, his future seemed to disappear. Imagine the shock of that moment. One day you're part of a loving family. The next day you're chained and carried into a foreign land. Joseph ended up in Egypt as a slave in the house of a powerful man named Potiphar. But here's something powerful. Even in slavery, Joseph didn't give up. He worked hard. He stayed faithful. He refused to let bitterness take control of his heart. And because of that, God gave him favor. Soon Joseph was trusted with everything in Potiphar's household. For a moment, it looked like his life was finally turning around. But then another trial came. Potiphar's wife falsely accused Joseph of doing something he never did. And because of that lie, Joseph was thrown into prison. Imagine the frustration. Joseph had done the right thing. He resisted temptation. He honored God. And still, he ended up behind bars. That's the moment where many people would lose hope. The moment where many would say, why should I keep doing the right thing if it only leads to pain? But Joseph didn't quit. He didn't stop trusting God. And here is the powerful truth recorded in Genesis 39:21. But the Lord was with Joseph in the prison and showed him his faithful love. And the Lord made Joseph a favorite with the prison warden. Think about that for a moment. Joseph was in prison. But he was not alone. God's presence wasn't limited to palaces. God's presence reached prison cells. Even in chains, God was still working. Joseph began serving faithfully inside the prison. He helped others. He interpreted dreams. He continued to live with integrity, even when no one was watching. And slowly, God gave him favor again. Joseph became trusted by the prison warden. Even in the lowest place of his life, purpose was still alive. You see, sometimes God allows the prison season not to punish us, but to prepare us. The prison can shape your character. It can build your endurance. It can teach you lessons that success never could. Joseph didn't realize it at the time, but his prison was actually a classroom. God was preparing him for leadership. Preparing him for responsibility. Preparing him for a moment that would change everything. One day, Joseph would be called out of that prison to stand before Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. Through God's wisdom, Joseph would interpret Pharaoh's dreams and reveal a coming famine. Because of that wisdom, Joseph would be promoted to become the second most powerful man in the entire nation. The slave became a ruler. The prisoner became a leader. The man everyone forgot became the man who saved nations. But none of that would have happened without the prison season. The prison didn't destroy Joseph. It prepared him. And maybe that's the message you need to hear today. Maybe your life feels like a prison right now. Maybe you feel trapped in a difficult job, a painful relationship, a season of waiting, or a situation that seems unfair. And you're wondering if God still sees you. But the same truth that applied to Joseph still applies today. God is not limited by your circumstances. He can show up in the pit. He can move in the valley. And yes, He can work even in the prison. Your situation may feel like confinement, but God can turn it into preparation. Your delay may feel like punishment, but God can turn it into positioning. And your darkest season may become the place where your greatest purpose begins to grow. So don't lose hope. Don't give up on doing what's right. Don't allow bitterness to steal your future. Because even in prison, purpose survives. Even in the valley, God is present. And even in the hardest seasons, God is still writing your story. Just like Joseph, your current chapter is not the end. It might simply be the place where God is preparing you for something greater than you ever imagined. And when the door finally opens, you'll realize something powerful. God was with you the whole time. If this blessed you, please subscribe and walk with us in His truth.